Today I will show you how to estimate using a timber frame specification. To begin with, I will show you the various timber frame specifications found in the library. To do this, I go to Library, Specifications, and you will see the list of specifications built in to EstimatorXpress. The key ones for us here are the new build timber frame specification. This is to say a subcontract quotation provided specification for the timber frame for a new build, a new build site fabricated timber frame spec. This is where we do the estimating ourselves using the estimating software. We have an extension timber frame specification. This is where a subby will do the quoting for us. And an extension site fabricated timber frame spec, once again where we do the estimating for the timber frame spec ourselves. If I go to Open here on the new build timber frame spec, although I could have used any of them here, I click on Open. A couple of seconds later, it will give us the timber frame specification for a new build. I will filter it down to show what's included in the timber frame kit. It takes a little time, or it makes sense to spend a little time, I should say, familiarizing yourself in terms of what's included with the various timber frame options. And scroll down until included in timber frame. I'll click off the filter, and here we can see what is included in the timber frame spec there. I'll go to the site fabricated timber frame spec, click through, and once again we can see what is included with the site fabricated timber frame spec, the extension timber frame spec, and the site fabricated timber frame spec, of course. As I say, it makes a little sense, or makes a lot of sense perhaps, to take a little time to see what is included with each of the various specifications. Once you are familiar, we will then begin estimating for site fabricated timber frame specs, since the extension timber frame spec and the new build timber frame spec are to be provided costings. To begin a site fabricated timber frame spec, I'll go to the dashboard, I go to new job, I'm going to quote a job from template, a couple of seconds later up will pop the wizard here, so I'm going to go for an extension in this particular instance. We select the type of extension we would like to do a timber frame spec build on. I'm going to go for an apex roof single story extension here, just for an example. Of course you could use any. I confirm all the details on the job itself. I choose the specification that I would like to build with. So I'm going to go with an extension for a site fabricated timber frame spec, as I'm going to build it on site. And we confirm any mini specs, profit markup we would like to make, the inflation rates, and I can then click on Create Job. A few moments later, the software will then bring up the main estimating wizards. Once the dimensional wizards have loaded, you'll automatically get a collection of estimating calculators popping up on screen. It does this as it allows you to set up the job, especially with the site establishment, sites strip, scaffolding and so on, to allow the job to kick off and all the estimating to be completed as required for the job at hand, so that no costs are missed. Once you're happy with all the calculators for the software to include, you hit select. We confirm the dimensions on the extension here. So for just an example here at hand, I'll go 4.5 meters by 6.5. This is simply an example of dimensions being added in, and you'll be able to see the adjustments being made appearing on screen as we do. You can see that the cost is adjusted live on screen. With older versions of EstimatorXpress, you would have to manually select the estimating calculators for the timber frame kit. With the new version of EstimatorXpress, we simply need to go to the external walls estimating calculator. So this one here, I click on DIMS, and because it is a timber frame build, it automatically includes the timber frame aspects within the dimension wizard. As with always, I'll work left to right, so I'll confirm all the details on the basic spec here. I will confirm the general information, so the height of the wall and the combined lengths of the walls. Scroll down a little here and we can confirm the details of whether it's plastered, decorated and so on. I will click through to the timber frame aspect, and unlike old versions of EstimatorXpress, the wall section, the internal wall section, has the timber frame built in. So we can confirm all the details on the header binders, the horizontal timbers, the header pieces, the vertical studding, the centre of studs, the header binders, the header plates, structural studs, the horizontal noggins, the bridging between floor joists, the bottom rails, the header pieces, and sole plates, the centres of the sole plate clips, and the lengths of the panel itself. If I scroll down here, I can also confirm the details on the openings and the plant requirements. If I go through to the openings themselves, I can add any in that I require. I confirm the information on the gables. And once again, after any timber frame studding that is required, we confirm the details on the parapet. And again, there are significant timber frame aspects that can be included, so we can confirm that information there as well. We confirm the information on the foundations, and of course the footings there as well. So that is the internal walls completed and costed. I can then scroll down a little to the internal walls, and once again you can see the timber frame is considered here at hand. Once again, I can go to the dimension wizard, and a couple of seconds later the internal wall tool appears as per the external wall. We confirm the specifications, click through to the general information. Also we confirm the height of the wall and any internal lengths of wall as required. And once again, the timber frame is built into the internal walls estimated calculator here. So we confirm all the information as per the external walls for the internal walls. So we confirm the details on the header binders, horizontal timbers, header pieces, vertical studs, centres of studs, header binders, header plates, and so on and so forth. Any information that is required is confirmed on these screens. And of course that includes details on the openings and of course plan. So we click through, confirming the information as required. Once again, we go to the gables, we confirm the details as required and any information on the timber frame. We confirm the details on the parapet, the foundations and the footings. We click on OK, and we have now costed for the internal cavity walls that use a timber frame built on site kit. Of course, if you are using the timber frame specifications for subby provided timber frames, then that information would be keyed in as a subcontract quotation. The rest of the estimating process is done as per usual in the standard manner, using the standard estimating tools, the standard dimension wizards that the software has built in. And of course, you quote and print off your quotes using the standard quote and outputs tools. And essentially, that is how you use the timber frame tools that are built into EstimatorXpress to cost and to quote for site fabricated timber frame specs and subby provided timber frame specs. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching.